Welcome back to Film Fanatics, where today I will be ranking my top 5 favorite political sci-fi movies. The qualifications are they must be classified as a science fiction film, and they also have to have some kind of political or social message behind it. So without further ado, let's get to it. With number 5, we have Elysium. In the year 2154, humanity is sharply divided between two classes of people. The ultra-rich, who live aboard a luxurious space station called Elysium, and the rest live in a polluted and crime-ridden Earth. His life hanging in the balance, a man named Max, played by Matt Damon, agrees to undertake a dangerous mission that could bring equality to the population. The message behind this film is the division of class, along with how immigrants are treated. This divide is not far off from how it is in the real world, but instead of hundreds of miles of space, it's gated communities that keep the separation. Quote-unquote right-wingers attack the film, calling it a sci-fi socialist movie. This goes to show that a handful of people saw a political message in this film, whether they were on board or not. But also, others saw it to be an eye-opening discussion with healthcare and immigration. This scene coming up describes perfectly what they were talking about. Right before this scene takes place, the immigrants tried to board Elysium with 3 different ships. 2 of them were shot down, but 1 of them survived. And as soon as that ship landed, a mother and daughter stepped out and immediately went to a house. Everyone's house on Elysium has some sort of med bay that can cure any kind of disease. This film shows us the journey a parent would go through just to give their child health care and a safe place to live. Unfortunately, this does happen in real life, but maybe the message in this film will show people to have a more open arms for immigration.
On Elysium, which is an orbital habitat where all the rich people have gone, so none of them are even on Earth. They all live above it all, out there, and we, the rest of us, are on Earth looking up at this beautiful, pristine torus in the sky that we aspire to somehow get to. And on that torus, it's a real international. You get a feeling it's the ruling elite, basically from every country, and they're all up there just living the high life on Elysium.
And you're telling me if the ruling elite had that opportunity, they wouldn't take it? That's what I thought.
We could do it, take off, live in the woods.
They'd catch us.
Well, maybe not.
We wouldn't make it 5 miles.
Number 4, we have the Hunger Games. In what was once North America, the capital of Panem maintains its hold on its 12 districts by forcing them each to select a boy and a girl called tributes to compete in a nationally televised event called the Hunger Games. Every citizen must watch as the youths fight to the death until one remains. District 12 tribute Katniss Everdeen, played by Jennifer Lawrence, has little to rely on, other than her hunting skills and her sharp instincts in an arena where she must weigh survival against love. So the book touches on the history behind the games more than the film, but the film does give a little small insight to why the games are played.
Terrible war. Widows, orphans, a motherless child. This was the uprising that rocked our land. 13 districts rebelled against the country that fed them, loved them, protected them. Brother turned on brother until nothing remained. And then came the peace, hard fought, sorely won. A people rose up from the ashes and a new era was born. But freedom has a cost, and the traitors were defeated. We swore as a nation we would never know this treason again. And so it was decreed that each year the various districts of Panem would offer up in tribute one young man and woman to fight to the death in a pageant of honor, courage, and sacrifice. The lone victor, bathed in riches, would serve as a reminder of our generosity and our forgiveness. This is how we remember our past. This is how we safeguard our future.
This film clearly ties the future to a long period of climate change catastrophes and ongoing struggles with the consequent food and water shortages, in which the government will help, but for a cost.
I can't really remember when I last had any hope, and I certainly can't remember when anyone else did either. Because really, since women stopped being able to have babies, what's left to hope for?
The youngest person on Earth was 18 years, 4 months, 20 days, 16 hours, and 8 minutes old.
Coming in at number 3, we have Children of Men. This story is set in a distant future where infertility has threatened mankind's existence. This film is probably the most grounded in reality film in the top 5. There's no flying cars, no neon skylines, no crazy aliens or anything. Children of Men is one of my all-time favorite movies as well. Once a film considered commercially a failure has become a successful cult film filled with plenty of meaning. In this film, few countries have a functioning government. The UK is one of the countries to maintain some type of stability, although with the influx of refugees has caused the country to close its borders and consider any immigrant a criminal. The parallels to today are astonishing. Of course, the cause of the rampant xenophobia we're seeing here in the US and the UK isn't a catastrophic world event like in Children of Men. However, the root of the issue in both the film and in real life is fear. In the film, it's the fear of extinction. Children of Men could be taken as an indictment of war, a denouncement of xenophobia and anti-immigrant policies, a take on the Holocaust, a religious allegory, but in reality, it's probably all of those things.
See, we have a baby. Everyone will join us in the uprising. But we can forget about the baby if the girl even suspects we killed Julian.
My favorite part of the film is the scene where people see the first baby in 18 years. The scene shows the human condition of love when the battle literally stops because the only baby in the world is being carried by her mother. Of course, after she clears out of the way, the battle starts again.
I'd been a science fiction and a fantasy fan my whole life, so I finally wanted to make a movie where I could use all these visual ideas that I'd had percolating for years. But I also wanted to tell a story that was about, where we're going as a human species. What our relationship with nature is, and how we don't respect nature, and how we tend to destroy it, and what the end result of that process will be. And in Avatar, you never see planet Earth. It's completely off camera, but it's a presence in the back of our mind. And when Jake says that the Earth, he calls it the dying world. So what we're saying is 150 years from now, we haven't solved these problems yet. And so now we're going to continue with our same patterns on a new world, on the world of Pandora. So it's a way of using the future to look back at the past, when Europeans first came to North America, South America, the way they behaved then. We would do the same thing tomorrow if we could do it on another planet. Let's face it. So it's really about us having to change. And it's not really talking about what we would do in the future on another planet. It's talking about what we have to do in the immediate future on our planet.
My pick for number 2 is Avatar. On an alien world called Pandora live the Na'vi, beings who appear primitive but are highly evolved. Because of the planet's environment is poisonous, human/Na'vi hybrids called avatars must link to human minds to allow for free movement on Pandora. Jake Sully, a paralyzed former Marine, becomes mobile again through one such avatar and falls in love with a Na'vi woman. As a bond with her grows, he is drawn into a battle for survival of her world. Avatar, being one of the most visually appealing movies ever, is a perfect example of a political science fiction film. From its take on anti-imperialism to taking care of nature and the environment around us. Director James Cameron acknowledged that the film is, and I quote, certainly about imperialism, in the sense that the way human history has always worked is that people with more military or technological advantages might tend to supplant or destroy people who are weaker, usually for their resources, end quote. The message of this film, like James Cameron talked about earlier, is how humans tend to destroy nature for our own selfish tendencies, and how we need to open our eyes and change the way we're living now. And finally, for my top spot, I have The Matrix. At its core, The Matrix is a commentary on the nature of power and control in society. The movie depicts a dystopian world where humans live in a simulated reality created by sentient machines that have taken over the world. These machines use the humans as a source of energy, keeping them sedated and controlled through the simulated reality they experience. The movie's central message is about the dangers of allowing those in power to control reality and shape our perceptions of the world. One of the key political themes in the movie is the idea of free will. The main character, Neo, is initially living a mundane and unfulfilling life until he discovers the true nature of his reality and decides to fight back against the machines. The journey to self-discovery and taking control of one's own life is seen as a powerful act of rebellion against the oppressive forces in the movie. Another political message in The Matrix is the danger of a society that is too heavily reliant on technology. The movie's depiction of a world controlled by machines raises important questions about the role technology plays in our lives today and how it can be used to control us. This theme is particularly relevant in today's society, where we are increasingly dependent on technology for our daily lives.
You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Thank you for taking this journey with me through my top 5 political science fiction films. I hope you enjoyed it, and leave a like if you want more content like this.